Thank you for watching Meatsauce and Monty. I'm Matt Montgomery. He's Paul Meatsauce Lambert.
And also with you.
And also with you. Look at that. There you go. And a very special week for us. It's the last week of the season. It's wild card week. We were gambling on the Vikings being in the playoffs. We've got Ben Leber, our A-lister. That we can be excited about. The other part, the disappointing.
I just clapped for myself. I don't know why.
You should.
I don't know why.
It's
like the awkward
After
thing
I
to
stood
do.
over there for 20 minutes for the show and talked about how great of a guy you are, you come on TV and
Yeah, I'm here.
Me.
Woo!
Me.
Have you ever sat on a couch like this with two men for a half hour and got paid for it?
I usually don't get paid for it.
Yeah, see, you do it
That's
for free.
how
then.
we met, actually.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, it's how
Great
Ben and I
story.
met. Yep.
Free
Refreshing.
services.
Yeah.
Ben Leber,
And the papers go a long way.
you are the Jason Momoa of K-Fan.
Oh,
That's what I.
Yeah.
That's what I
You
would
breathe
say.
underwater?
No, that's.
I can.
That's.
I can.
See, I figured, everybody they give you grief for being the best-looking man on the radio. Do you take that well? Do you laugh it off? Do you say these
I
guys?
try to laugh it off.
Yeah.
Listen, I try to
Well,
laugh it off. It
do
is,
the-
yeah.
there's
it's
a
not
two-shot
something I
right
want.
now
It's
between
not
you
something
and
I
Paul.
want to be known
Okay,
for.
really?
I'd rather be known for content.
Their
Yes.
content. Would you like to be known more as a former NFL linebacker 5 years with the Vikings? Do you like that, or do you like doing the current
How do
gig?
you like to remember me?
Well, I know.
I've said it before.
I know this one.
I think you're one of the best men I've ever been around. I like how humble you are, and I also like, and it's no offense to all the people we've had on, but you're one of the only people that's like shake the hands of the people behind stage. I like that about you.
Yeah.
I think you're very
I didn't
kind.
realize you're actually going to give me a
Well,
straight
yeah,
answer.
but
No,
no,
see,
but
you were setting him up for the
yeah,
2009 joke.
yeah.
And he's just
No,
he's
I
letting that one.
can't. I thought about
You can
that,
do it.
but
It's our show. We can
man,
say what
I
we
get-
want.
Sometimes people are like, "You're so mean." I'm like,
Yeah, but Ben
I've
gets
been to
it.
Ben's house.
Yeah.
It's a joke.
He's super nice to
Yeah,
you. He's setting
yeah.
you up. He
No,
is setting
I know.
you up to do
Yeah,
it.
I set you up for the joke.
I'll do it later. I got
Okay.
plenty of them.
All right. So this is
Yeah.
a real question. Do fans talk to you about that, or have they let that go and they're like, "No, you're a K-fan personality. You do sideline reporting for the Vikings." Do they treat you now as like one of the guys that they listen to? That they
Yeah, I think now they do. I mean,
Yeah.
there still are some references to when I was a player, and it's always very nice. It's flattering that I think for the most part I'm remembered as a good player.
Absolutely.
You know? And I wouldn't, I wasn't like an all-pro or anything like that, but I think in most people's minds, at least I didn't muck things up too much, right? I wasn't like, outside of the 2009 game, according to Sauce, there was only. I only had a couple plays that people probably remember in a bad way.
Sure.
But yeah, and I was only here for 5 years. That's the thing. Like,
But you're still here. See, that's
Yeah.
And I know that you're gonna. I'm one of us. I'm from Minnesota. That whole spiel. There is something, and I'm not trying to set you up. I honestly think Minnesota fans love when the players stay here. Because
do.
then they're like, hey, now you're one of us because you chose to stay here. You
Yeah.
could have gone back to San Diego. You could have gone to where you're from. Anything. You're
Yeah.
still here.
No, that's a good point, because once they sort of perk up and they ask like, "Are you guys going to stay here?" And I'm like, "Yeah, we have no intentions of moving." Like, "Oh, that's great," and
Yeah.
it's like almost like the relief, like, "Oh, that's so nice." Like, "Why do you guys like here?" I'm like, "Well, I can go through the laundry list of reasons.
Yeah. You
Great
validate
schools
Minnesota.
and all that stuff, and I validate it, and it does feel good. And I understand that, of course, if you grew up here, you have a certain pride about yourself.
Yeah.
No, we don't go around as Minnesotans like people from Texas.
Yeah.
You beat your chest at every moment to say like, I'm from Texas
Yeah,
and we're the
that's-
best at everything and we still need to be our own union. We don't do that.
Yeah, no.
But it still feels good when it's validated that, hey, we live in a pretty cool state and we have a lot of cool things here.
Very cool state with a football team that lost last week. We can probably spend a couple minutes breaking that down. Your reaction, the beginning of the game. 4 3 and outs. They were down 13-zip before they even got a first down. This was a win and in. We talked about everything was on the silver platter. Big game, playoff-like feel, and they completely,
Now that we're at this point where the game's over and the season's over and you sort of look at it back and reflect on it a little bit more and maybe take off your glasses, or at least for me, take off my glasses a little bit.
Your purple glasses.
My purple glasses, and you look back at the drives that you're talking, the start of the game, and we were just outmatched.
Yeah.
We have been outmatched throughout the course of the season, and I think that we've needed certain breaks to go our way. We've needed extra special efforts and plays from certain individuals, and then when we don't get that, we blame those individuals. But when you look at it in totality, it's like we're overmatched in key areas, and I think we all understand where I'm talking about the offensive line.
Yep.
And then I think towards the end of the season, our defensive line did not play very well against the run. Maybe stats-wise, you can say otherwise and point to that, but watching the games, too many critical situations where they would just take our soul a little bit and run it right down the teeth of our defense, and that takes something out of you as a defense.
Absolutely.
I don't care who you are.
Is it easy to say that the Bears are just a better team?
It's easy to say,
Yeah.
and I think
This year,
I think that's the right answer,
Yeah.
right? We can say, well, this guy and this scheme and this whatever, but when you look at it overall, they're just a better football team.
Yeah.
They just are.
Defensively, for sure.
Do they have the better quarterback? I don't think so. Do I think Dalvin Cook is better than Howard and Cohen? Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
But they utilize those guys a little bit better. Their offensive line is far more superior than our offensive line. And their defense, their guys on the defensive front are just bigger, more tenacious.
They're mean.
And
Better.
they're mean. And they have nasty. And we don't have a lot of nasty on our team.
You mentioned that a lot during the week. This week, and then, of course, in Mike Zimmer's press conference, he talked about that. And you said it first. This team, nobody's mean. And you can't go out and beat a game like that and win against a team that is mean. And the other thing, going back to the Bears, is they used Khalil Mack like we used to use Adrian Peterson, where mostly in 2009, you can stop Adrian Peterson, we'll kill you with everybody else. They did that.
Yeah.
It was Brian O'Neill, it was Kyle Rudolph, it was David Morgan, it was Conklin. They would chip him every time, and he had no sacks, no tackles. But everybody else killed him.
Everybody else.
Because they focused so much on him, and they used him like we used to use Randy Moss. You can try and stop him, and if you do, we'll kill you with other people. That seemed to be the Bears' game plan on Sunday.
Yeah, and
it obviously worked.
Yeah, and Akeem Hicks, we talked about him going into the week, and once again, he showed up and he was a man amongst boys. We could not block him. Double teams, it did not matter. Single blocks, he was too big and too athletic.
Yeah, and we also saw that their second team kicked the crap out of us.
Yes, they did.
We couldn't score.
And
and I know you're on the broadcast, and Bursic was saying it. They slowly, as you saw the game go on, they pulled back a little in they were running a super vanilla offense and a super vanilla defense, and they couldn't beat it on either side of the ball.
Right.
They couldn't stop it. In the second half, they basically ran plays we ran in high school, traps and dives, and we couldn't slow it down.
No.
Same thing on offense. They ran off tackle and all that other stuff. We had no answer for.
How many games did you play on varsity?
2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Highlight team.
But I knew it. It was vanilla offense. That's all it was. And we couldn't stop it. That's bad.
I think the more frustrating part was when they sort of called off their dogs late in the second half, and we still had a chance, right? We still had a chance
Yes.
to get back in the game, and we're going against their second rotation on their defensive line. Kirk still didn't have confidence that his line was going to protect him. And it was still check down city.
Oh, very late. Yeah, absolutely.
And I'm like, get the ball down the field, but you also understand they're playing a softer zone defense that didn't allow a lot of things over the top. And their second string defensive line was getting pressure on us.
Sometimes
and
it's just 3 guys.
Yeah.
All right.
Sorry, one more thing.
Okay,
you don't
one
think
more.
any of this how much of the blame, and a lot of people, how much of this is on Kirk Cousins? We see people on Twitter go back and they find these films of him, double tapping the ball, or the second he feels pressure, he kind of, he can't really climb the pocket. How much of that is playing behind an offensive line that's been horse bleep all season?
I think a lot of it is because you look at the way he started the season. I think within the first 4 or 5 games, everybody was like, this guy's amazing. He's had some throws, and let's take the Bills game and wipe it off for everybody, right? Nobody gets a passing grade for that one. But I heard a lot of people saying, hey, he's playing at a level where it's justifying the $84 million. And then I think as the hits compiled, as the distrust in his offensive linemen grew, he became a shell of himself, and he was shell shocked. And I think you can put a little bit of blame on the quarterback because a lot is expected out of that position. But the numbers, the throws, the accuracy, the arm strength, all of that stuff, I like what we have there at quarterback. We just got to find a way to protect him.
With that said, we're going to take a quick timeout in just a second. In the game, the quarterback, the position, have to be the leader. His fight with Adam Thielen on the sideline. When you were a player, would that have flown? Would you have seen people do that, and how would they have handled it? To me, that just showed didn't have the poise, didn't have the confidence that they were going to come back. it was frustration. It came to a head. It exploded right there on the sideline in front of everybody.
Well, I think it's frustration because it sounds like Thielen did something, made an error on
the route
on a 101 level situation where it was a pretty easy thing to figure out. He just made the wrong read in his routes, and he ran the wrong route. And Kirk was expecting him, as he always has during the season, to get to that spot. And I think the frustration grew because they knew they had limited opportunities in this game to make plays. And they're only going to have so much time in the pocket to make a play like that. They're only going to have so much time to take advantage of this defense, given the defensive front. So I think that's where the sense of urgency in the very beginning of the game was, okay, we're super frustrated because we had 4 3-and-outs.
Yeah.
And then we're getting opportunities, and we screw those things up too. And it's on guys that you're supposed to trust, and I think that's where it just came to a head. And listen, those guys will
it's okay.
It's over.
Yeah,
it's
already done.
out. They're going to be teammates. They're going to be buddies for the next couple of years. So it's not going to linger off.
Well, Paul and I got in a fist fight last week, and we're fine now, right? We're okay?
Yeah. What were we fighting about?
I don't know.
Okay.
I think it was the buffet. Something you did in the buffet.
You took the last meat.
It was over food.
Probably.
All right.
Meatloaf's sweet.
This is our last week here at Mystic Lake. I want to say thank you to the people at Mystic Lake. We are so thrilled that they let us be here for year 2. Thank you. Season 3 of the show, year 2 being here at Mystic. So to thank them, we're going to do a little commercial break. Brian McKnight, Friday, January 11th, 8 p.m. here at the Mystic Showroom. Human Nature Jukebox, the Ultimate Playlist, live Sunday, January 13th, also 8 at the showroom. Dwight Yoakam, are you a country guy?
I am not a country guy.
Dwight Yoakam, country. Saturday, January 19th, 8 o'clock. Tesla, Saturday, Friday, February 1st, 8 p.m. at the Mystic Showroom. So, a lot of music, a lot of action going on here at Mystic, so thank you to them. Looking back on the season, is there anything that you would say other than the offensive line that needs to be paid attention to?
I think one of the big things that is going to have to happen if they want to do anything to revamp this team in a legitimate way, they got to find cap space.
Sure.
And they got to find a way to do it.
Gonna take
whether
money.
whether they restructure guys or flat out trade or just or let guys go. I think this is going to be a shocking offseason for a lot of guys.
Wow.
And I think that's about the only way. If you're gonna go out now, you got to keep in mind now that Spielman and Zimmer are on their last year of their contract, and they know as of today they're on the hot seat. Like they've got 1 year to figure this thing out, and that sense of urgency doesn't start a month from now, 2 months from now. It starts today.
Yeah.
And I'm guarantee you they're already looking at free agents that they can get as far as the offensive linemen. They're already making plans for who's going to possibly move on the offensive line if there's going to be position switches, and then where you should direct your attention in free agency. And if you don't do that, immediately who are you targeting in the draft?
Yeah.
And if you're going to make any sort of moves, you got to free up some cap space, and you better do it in a hurry, and you better have a plan to do it. So maybe we don't see anything in the next couple of weeks, or even anything going up into the draft, but I would not be surprised if there is a player traded before the draft or during the draft.
Wow, that's awesome. That's a good prediction.
And the other thing too, though, is it's easy to move people in the draft because you can get instant equity. You could get a second-round pick, and I heard PA asked you this morning on the radio, would you take a second-round pick for Rhodes?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Really?
Because
Second
of
round?
what we've seen in him, or because it gets rid of that huge contract, or both?
Yeah, it's a little bit of both for me. You know, listen, I think Xavier is an outstanding player, but I look at more so that I have faith that Mike Hughes is going to be the guy. I think he's going to be the guy on the outside. And if not him, and at least to spell him, I think Holton Hill has a lot of promise. And I think he plays with the right edge that Mike Zimmer's looking for. And I believe that Trey Wayne's on a fifth-year deal. He'll be solidified for 1 more year on that rookie contract, so you don't have to move him. I think I've always been a Trey fan. I think he's the best tackling corner that we have, and I think he actually plays really good coverage. He just gets a bad rap, and I don't really know why, because people pick on him and sometimes he gives up plays. But I think Xavier has regressed this year. I don't know if you can trust his health going forward, because he's had a lot of nagging soft tissue injuries. And he's got a big inflated contract. Now, if you can move that guy or jettison him somehow and save some money, that immediately opens up space for either a second-round draft pick to draft an offensive lineman, or you get that money saved and put the money into an offensive
$9 million, $10 million to get you an outstanding guard.
For sure. And the cap's going to go up by $10 million anyway, so there, you can adjust for that. And there are creative ways that you can float contracts into the next cap season, and I think you can do that like once within the CBA. So, and I don't know if we've done that yet. So I do think that there are some moving parts that we still haven't explored yet.
This is the most intellectual conversation we've ever had on our TV show.
So
3
let's get away.
seasons.
So let's get
I was
away
gonna
from
say,
that.
are you treating this like you're interviewing for the GM job? You're like, we
let's
can
get
do
away.
this, we can do this, and we're sitting here like, yeah, that's awesome. Well, it's
But
like,
we can't talk about what we normally talk about on the Power Trip because the CW.
you can talk about whatever you
No,
want.
the CW gets mad when I say my 4 or 5 catchphrases that I say
Yeah.
on the Power Trip. So I'm kind of one-dimensional.
Whales, great
Yeah.
point. Those
no,
work.
I was more like
those are-
Crank and Hammerhead and all that
I
stuff.
know. Yeah, those.
That's what I meant.
Scott's gonna hit the beat button on that
That's
one.
all right. Hammerhead's a shark.
Yeah, I
You
know what it
pervert.
is.
Yeah.
Well, I know what it is.
It's also,
It's when you're.
yeah, I laugh every
Hammer
time.
made or
I
the
was
shirts
in a,
you,
on vacation once. They were like, yeah, this is where Hammerheads hang out. I laughed. No one else
Nice.
did.
Okay, let's move on. Predictors.
Childish.
This is the only show of the year where we get to do predictors because we can say whatever
Sweet.
we want. We take like 9 months off, and then we can come back and look at it later. So staying with the Vikings, predictors. 2009 schedule, or I shouldn't say schedule, opponents has been released. They have the 9th toughest schedule. They're going to face 7 playoff teams. 5 of their 8 road games are against teams that won 10 games or more. So, prediction, Vikings record next year. Let's go ahead and get right out in front.
Wow.
Be quick with it. Try to be funny with it. Do whatever you
The
want.
Vikings will be 4-12.
Oh, God. Okay, so 4-12.
Yeah, I think they'll be. I mean, that's an
I'll-
unbelievably
yeah.
tough schedule.
I'm gonna say
You got-
14-2.
You got to go to Kansas City. You got to go to the Giants. They'll be better. Yeah, 4-12.
Just stop. Ben?
I will say though,
You're-
when the team is losing, a 4-12 season, believe it or not, is great ratings for
Really?
all this stuff.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
because people
just want to rip.
Yeah, they're angry.
People have more fun ripping than
Yeah.
they do like saying like this
And
guy's great.
perfect
That's right.
He's
Well, that-
awesome.
the
We
perfect
love him.
You're doing an
example.
impression of me. That's exactly
And I
every
think,
week.
Ben, weren't you on that team? Were you on the team that where Adrian got hurt in Washington
At the end of the
No.
year.
at the end of the year? The perfect example. The best part of that season, keep losing and get Andrew Luck.
Right.
That's great drama.
Yeah.
That's when you have a superstar quarterback like that. That's great drama.
So, all right.
Either, as Common says, be biblically bad or really good.
Yeah, what's the other? Yeah,
Don't be in the
biblically bad.
middle.
I like that.
7-1 sucks.
Okay.
Yeah. I'll go 10-6.
Okay, nice. Down the middle, I like it. Possibly playoffs. Who's going to win the Super Bowl this year? You can break it down. AFC Championship if you want, NFC Championship. Who do you think makes the Super Bowl? Who wins?
I think it'll be the Chargers and the Saints, and the Chargers win.
Chargers. They have
Yeah.
all road games.
Chargers
do they
are
not?
the best team. I think
They
the
do.
best team in the AFC.
You're going Chargers,
Yeah,
Saints?
they can beat
Ooh.
anybody.
All right.
Anyone.
Ben?
Man, I mean, I was actually going to say the same thing. Only,
No.
Yeah. Only
See,
because
Maybe I'm not an idiot.
well,
Maybe.
I think the Saints win it. I don't think
Ooh.
the Chargers pull it off. I would love to see them pull it off.
Do you hate New Orleans?
Not as much as the Eagles now.
Really?
Yeah.
But when you
Yeah.
were a player, that the
No,
Bounty
you
Gate,
don't-
all that stuff, that doesn't stick with you?
No, because
Really?
listen, we lost that game ourselves.
no, I get that,
And
I
that's
get
and that's the thing that I think.
Paul.
So here, yeah. I'm
that's-
I'm
now
setting
you-
you up again.
there
I'm
you
setting
go.
you up again.
We stuff.
You did.
Yeah, that's right.
Adrian played all right. He
Yeah.
couldn't hold on to the ball.
Brett
Percy
played
Harvin
okay.
fumbled. No, that game sucked. Like,
Yeah, that.
I mean,
You know,
like
it's still-
as John Kriesel has said to you in person, he doesn't have PTSD from losing his legs. He has PTSD from that football game, which adds the humor to it.
It's very funny.
I will say though,
It wasn't your fault at all. You
No,
should
it
have
was
won by
not.
28
Yeah,
points.
yep.
It was a
You
very
had 500 plus yards.
Yeah, it was a very entertaining game, right?
Yeah.
Like I mean, everybody's emotions were up here,
I
and
fainted.
they were
Yes.
here, and
You
up here.
fainted?
I was doing seances.
Yeah.
I don't know what that means, but I was doing it.
No, I don't hate the Saints at all. Like
Really?
I
Okay.
think they're
Yeah,
You're a
they're-
very
you
at
played
peace
with
man.
Breeze,
they're
didn't you?
yeah. I think they're a pretty classy organization. I'm a big fan of Drew. You know, he and I go back to when I was drafted. He was in his second year in San Diego, and
killing me, man.
I at that point in time in 2009, I had a lot of buddies on that team, and so it was hard for me to hate them. Now in this position.
Then you can
After
shoot.
having gone now and with the team to Philadelphia and watched that debacle in their stadium,
Yep,
and the way
throwing
their
beer cans, that
fans
thing.
are, and I think there's some likable guys there too. But overall, oh man, the thing is they love to needle us too.
Yes.
And that's the
Well,
other
that's
part
Philly,
of it.
right? Isn't that
And that just
their
makes
MO?
me not like them even more, is because they love to give it back to us too. Where the
Right.
Saints are kind of like, we'd like to beat them, but we've got bigger things
Well,
to do.
and when you consider the cities that they play in, you've got New Orleans as a city, tourism, all that stuff. Philly, I mean, they're kind of hated in
Philly's
everything.
the worst.
Yeah, Philly, I mean,
And a
that's
perfect-
their
a
MO of the
perfect
people that
example
live
is,
there.
Even though Sean Payton did the skull chant
Yeah,
when we
that
beat him
was-
in the Minneapolis Miracle,
that was a Richard
They
move.
were all super like, we got beat, big deal.
Yeah.
Philly, they're the worst. Kelsey
Yeah.
in that stupid outfit he wore.
Oh, yeah.
Kelsey's
Yeah.
the biggest Todd on the planet.
when you go out
All
and
of them.
disrespect Belichick and the Patriots for what will never be done in NFL ever.
No.
Again, like the dynasty that they've created and they're on currently
Yeah.
will never be repeated. And they go out and start hammering, well, we win our way.
Yeah.
This is how you can win, and blah blah blah. Like, dude, why don't you back it up for another 12 years?
right.
Before you
Yeah.
start popping your
Yeah.
mouth off.
Everyone
18
on that
years.
team reads Barstool Sports. They're
Yeah.
the worst.
All right. Not that it matters, but I picked Chiefs to beat the Bears in the Super Bowl. This will live forever on YouTube.
That's
We'll
pretty
see
good.
who's right. I'm going to go Chiefs Bears. We're going to take another quick break. Price is Right live Thursday
music
through
we're gonna
Sunday,
hear.
February 7th to the 10th at the Mystic Showroom. Price is Right live show. Should be a
That's
lot of
kinda
fun. Grand Funk Railroad, Saturday, February 23rd, 8 p.m. in the showroom. Cheap Trick. They want you to want them. March 8th, 8 p.m.
Private.
The Monkeys. Are you old enough to just
Yeah, I
the
remember
TV
the
show.
Monkeys show.
Paul last week.
Yeah.
I don't remember the Monkeys. I'm like, dude, I remember watching them in syndication as a kid. Original
idea.
members, Michael Nesmith and Mickey Dolans will be here Thursday, March 14th in the showroom. It was a great show.
It was a great
They were like
show.
a Beatles knockoff
Was that
made
on
for
Nick?
TV.
Or did it end up
I
on
watched
Nick?
it on syndicated TV.
I think it was on.
If it was
yeah,
on Nick,
at
he would have
night,
had it
yeah.
because cable and everything.
Yeah, I never saw it though.
He was like a Disney Channel guy.
No, didn't watch that.
What were you?
Saved by the Bell.
Yeah, Tiffany Amber Thiessen.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
She's
sure.
hotter now.
Yeah.
She has a cooking show. I've really gotten into the cooking show.
It's like watching Giada.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Jada. Jada
I
de la
started following
Renta.
her on Twitter.
Okay, let's
Oh.
just. She's got a Jennifer Love Hewitt forehead. Just pay
Who
attention
cares?
to that.
Who cares?
You don't
My
care?
head looks like the top
Yeah,
of the birthing
look at-
canal.
hey, oh,
I don't
yeah,
care.
There we go. Look at that. See, now you'd be
It's a
okay.
boy.
Do you tell him
With a
to
huge
shave?
head.
Should he bick it? Should he go? I mean, you pull the look off. Could Paul do that?
No, but he doesn't have a massive head.
You wear a hat enough
Do
anyway.
you have any wrinkles in your head?
No.
No,
Look
but
at
I
that.
have a lump here,
You got a couple lumps here and here. The part just won't
right
look
here.
right.
Yeah, I got some lumps.
Oh
Yeah.
I'm
Jesus.
probably dying.
It's not going to hurt if you shave it just one time to see what it looks
but
like.
Dude, give it a try.
when I shave my
Make it a
beard,
bet.
I look like Mr. Potato Head.
But you wear a hat anyway.
Yeah. See, you should give it a shot. I'm
Just
telling you.
just wear a bigger hat.
Hey, okay.
All right.
This is, yeah, I mean, this is like George Clooney telling John Goodman how to dress.
All right. Last segment of the year. Would you rather?
Love it.
Ben, it's a first-time guest.
He just talked
we
about
we just
her.
throw it
Yeah.
out there.
Yeah,
Yeah,
of
it's
course
what
I
it
would.
Yeah.
See, exactly.
Of course he would.
Jada.
I'm going to make soup now because she does.
NFL ratings are up 5% from 2017. Streaming went up 86%. Would you rather watch Monday Night Football or Thursday Night Football? Or would you rather see the NFL grow even more and put another night of the week in there?
Are you saying from a television production and who's doing the telecast,
You
or
take
just
the question
or just the
however
idea
you
of
prefer.
football on Thursday versus Monday?
You take it however you want.
I'll go first. I'll let him think. Thursday Night Football.
You'd rather
the
watch
Monday Night
Thursday night?
Football crew is awful.
Yeah.
It's awful.
I know you
And not
really don't
because
like
he's
Witten.
sitting here. He should be in the booth, and they should have the John Randall mobile. It would be
I love
10
it.
times better.
Oh, yeah.
Jason Witten is terrible. His wig's terrible.
Booger is-
They're just awful.
Yeah, I know.
Tessitore is awful.
I know. I don't think Tessitore
Oh,
is that bad.
he's good at
I know you say
boxing. No,
boxing.
they're
I think his
awful.
voice. I think his
No.
delivery. Who was the guy that was before Sean McDonough? He was boring.
No, he's better
oh,
than-
he was
no.
terrible.
He
Sorry
had
if you've worked with
Gruden.
any of these people. I
He
don't
had
mean
I
Gruden.
have not. I have
Yeah.
No, you know Booger, don't you?
No, I've
You and
never
Boogs?
actually met him.
You can call him Boogs though. It's a nickname. So Monday or Thursday? What would you?
Well,
More people are watching.
I will say this. I think the Thursday night production is much better. It's an easier listen and a much
Yes.
better production overall than Monday Night Football.
It's the other network's A crew. They just send them out midweek.
But I would say from a football standpoint, I think we need to get rid of Thursday Night Football. I know they never will.
Yeah.
I like the idea of using all the days of the week after Monday Night Football to gear up for the next game.
Yeah.
I do think that fans need to take a breath during the course of the week. And if you're a football fan, like I am, you've got college football,
Yep.
you've got NFL football.
When your kids get older, high school football.
Yeah, and towards the end of the year, I think they have the MAC games on Wednesday nights. So Tuesday nights,
And Tuesday.
Yeah,
there's
you
some,
get- I
yeah.
mean,
So there could be weeks where it's every night of the week. And
Yeah.
now I'm not chasing down these MAC games or these lower level college football games, but my point is I think fans they need a break. You need to build up storylines. You need to get a little trash talking and taunting
Yeah.
going between fan bases. And there needs to be more of an outlet like, all right, now Sunday
Sure.
football's here.
Get fired up.
Now it's like, okay, we got another NFL game on tonight.
Have a doubleheader on Monday night every week.
Double header.
Just do that.
You like that?
Yeah. Do a West Coast game and then an East Coast game.
Nice.
Do that every week. That'd be
Awesome.
way better than a Thursday game.
We got about a minute left. Last question.
Oh, this is the show.
Yeah,
we're
this
doing
is,
the show
this
right
is
now?
the TV show. This
Yeah.
is the
Oh,
show.
we're doing the
See,
show.
that's all
I
this show
thought
is.
this was-
You thought we were just hanging out.
I thought we were just hanging out.
Yeah. Turn on your mic and just hang out.
That's what happens when time flies. Doesn't make any
Meatsauce,
sense.
would you rather watch The Voice on NBC or The Masked Singer on Fox?
I'd rather go on vacation with my ex-wife and her husband. The Masked Singer looks like the worst show of all time. And how do you not know who those people are? Like, I guess
What do
it's
you-
like
they're
famous.
in a
No, I
costume
get that,
and
but
all.
once they talk, like if
Yeah,
one
it's
of the
like 20
guesses,
questions. Ask
sure,
them what
but
they're
one of the guesses last night was, like one of the guys they
So you
thought
did
was
watch
no,
it.
no. I read about it because I wanted to know
You
if it
read?
was like. Yeah.
Wow.
But it was like, hey, are you Allen Iverson? If Allen Iverson talks, you know that's Allen Iverson.
Not
like,
everybody
are
at
their
home
voices
knows Allen
described?
Iverson's voice.
Or just,
You know it.
yeah, I don't know. It's dumb concept.
I think it's a horrible concept too. That's
Yeah.
why I set you up
And
for
the
that
voice
question.
sucks.
Yeah.
So
It's on every day.
I would take your advice because I did not watch the Masked Singer. Is that what it's called?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think that's what it's called.
So I'll go with The Voice. But my daughter did love the show. She watched
The
it
Voice
last
or The
night.
Masked
No,
Singer?
The Masked
Oh,
Singer.
Yeah, but
no.
she's a kid.
But
She
she's
should.
10.
Yeah, I'm
So
36.
they're appealing to that demographic, a
Yeah.
10-year-old who doesn't
Yeah.
who sees a costumed person. That's going to do it for this season. Number one, we cannot thank Todd enough. We wouldn't be
Yep.
doing this if it weren't for Todd. So Todd, you and your handlebar mustache, thank you. The crew here at Mystic, Allie, Castle Rock Curtis, everybody here has been so kind. Scott, he puts this stuff together. He's the absolute best. Paul, the show wouldn't be here if it weren't for you, man.
Thanks.
All right?
You do all the work. It's kind of like
you-
the power trip.
You make it fun. You make it
I
fun. That's why we
appreciate
do
that.
it. Ben, thank you so much for being
Yeah,
here.
thanks
We
for having me
appreciate
on.
it. You're a
Yeah.
great guest. Nice handshake.
Thank
All
you.
right.
Yeah.
Hopefully we'll see you back here next year. Have a good off season, everybody.